Okay, these are my 5 questions for time for school. The first one, what are the differences between the schools that were portrayed in the film? And one major difference that I saw was how the students in many countries didn't have textbooks, didn't have the ability to bring textbooks home with them so they could do their homework. Many of them had to share with other students while at school, and then they weren't even able to bring them home. And we can know that that is going to be less beneficial for them because of all the studies that have been done, noting how middle income and upper income families, their children tend to do better in school because the average number of books that are available to them in the home are in the 20s and 30s per child. In lower income families, there's usually an estimate of 1 book per child in school. And if that's the case, if we can tie that to our education here in the United States, then of course those schools that don't have the resources to be able to send textbooks home with their students are going to be at a great disadvantage. Second question, what do girls gain from going to school that they don't gain in a home environment? And one of the main things that stuck out in my mind was that they don't gain the opportunity to look at the outside world, to know how things are done in other countries and other parts of the world. It's just what we're trying to do in this class. And without that, they focus on important things such as learning how to cook and raise a family, but they don't gain the views in what other people have learned in other parts of the world, and that's why they miss out on a lot of health care and suffer from many diseases, where in other parts of the world have already found cures for those diseases. Third question, what are some pros and cons to the stress placed on students, particularly in Japan? I would say the positive effect of stress on students is their ability to perform better. For many students, they have shown that competition can be a drive for them to perform at their peak level. But at the same time, there are many students that don't perform well under stress. Girls in particular have been shown through gender differences to not perform as well when placed under extremely stressful situations in testing and on time restraints. Also, we know that David Elkind has put out a book called Growing Up Too Fast, Too Soon, and the more we place stress on children to learn and to develop quickly, the more they're forced to grow up too fast, which isn't good. They're more likely to end up dropping out of school, getting into some bad habits, and there's a lot of studies shown in that book that that's the case. Number 4, what are the pressures on the students to drop out? Some of the pressures that were shown in the film are by their parents. They need them to help out on the farm at home. Some of them express the desire to help out with just the daily chores of cooking and cleaning. And even one mother stated that my daughter has had 2 years in school, so now it's time for her to learn how to cook and clean, the important things. To that mother, that was what was more important in life than learning about academic subjects. So some of the pressures came from parents. Some of the pressures come from a different life, such as in Brazil. There are a lot of pressures to join the drug trafficking because of the money that people can earn in that. And the 5th question is, how were the parents' views different for Raluca and Joab? And that kind of relates to the pressures to drop out that I was talking about in question 4. that Raluca's parents were very supportive. They wanted her to go far in life. They wanted her to get a good education and become a doctor or something far greater than they had achieved in terms of education. And Joab, his mom expressed the desire only for him to go to school so that he might be able to take care of her one day. And so even though it might have sounded a little bit selfish, at the same time she was probably thinking of his own needs and the family's needs as well before she passed away. So both of the parents wanted what's best for their children, but Raluca's parents seemed to push her a little more and encourage her a little more than Joab's mother, probably because she had physiological needs to worry about rather than focusing on education, which is higher on the hierarchy of needs. So that's the 5 questions.